fighting robots. Mega Man.
Welcome back to the Optional Boss Podcast. This is episode 59, where, honestly, it's probably going to be a bit of a short episode. I'm a little under the weather. We don't have a lot of time to actually record today, so we are going to just talk about some random gaming-related media. Tyler, how are you doing?
I'm doing better than you.
Yes.
No, I'm pretty swell. I've just been able to enjoy a nice week to myself and do some extra things. And surprisingly, among those extra things, I only did a little bit of gaming. I mean, maybe not a little bit. I don't know. I finished off Blasphemous 2, the Mea Culpa DLC. And,
Very good.
So before I go on about that, because I know you're currently going through it as well.
Yes.
For how far you are into it, like you were asking me, what are your thoughts on just Blasphemous 2 this go round?
I am enjoying it a bit better than before. Like, it's okay. So, Blasphemous 1 is always going to hold, like, that special candle. Blasphemous 2 it's still a great game. I do like 1 better, but I am enjoying my playthrough this time around a lot better than I did before. And maybe it is that critical eye. Maybe it's just wanting more Blasphemous 1, but at the same time, it's still good. As for story-wise, like, Blasphemous 1 had a really good story. A lot of it, you probably had to, if you're anything like me or Tyler, probably got the rundown of or in-depth analysis of the story through YouTube, which we'll get into as the actual topic, I'm sure. But Blasphemous 2, I still have no idea what's going on.
I have a rough idea.
I know there's a giant heart in the sky, and you got or a baby in the sky
and
that looks like a man.
100 years after Blasphemous 1, I believe.
1,000.
Is it? Oh my god, not much changed in 1,000 years.
Okay, so the idea is it's 1,000 years, because they don't actually say it in-game, as far as I know, but there's an achievement 1,000 years later.
Interesting.
So that is what people have been hypothesizing anyways.
Well, I do know, I look at it, yes, I like the first one more, but this one's nice if I want it with a little bit of a different flavor to it, you know?
Yep.
It's oddly reminiscent of, like, old school sequels, where the first game was, like, you know, super straightforward and concise, and then the second one they threw a couple. It's like Earthworm Jim 2. It's better than Earthworm Jim 2. I will make that very clear. But it's like, you know, Earthworm Jim 1 had like a just straight action platformer premise, and then Earthworm Jim 2 are like, okay, that worked really well. Let's throw this stuff into. And it was still fun, but it wasn't as just precise.
So, like, the big difference is at the end of Blasphemous 1, everything the Miracle kind of touched disappeared, including the Mea Culpa, which is the main sword, the Sword of Guilt, and which is actually what Blasphemous 2's DLC is all about, hypothetically, anyways. So when you start Blasphemous 2, you're given 3 different choices of weapons, and you eventually get them all, but one's like, it's a giant ball on a chain, does really heavy, slow damage. One is a sword, which is kind of in between the 3 weapons, and then you get the dual daggers. And the dual daggers are honestly my favorite.
See,
just with the lightning damage that you can pile up, it just wrecks enemies.
I like the standard sword because it's just ruthless, and it was the closest thing to the Mea Culpa. But my biggest complaint about the sequel was that I didn't have my sword. So the DLC definitely rectifies that. You'll know soon enough.
All I know is I got the hilt, and then I had it stolen away from me.
Yeah, you don't get to hold it for very long. But other than finishing off Blasphemous 2, I've been continuing on with the Pokemon Sapphire Nuzlocke. I'm still in it. Still in it to win it. It has provided some challenges, to say the least.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, you're at least reasonably familiar with classic Pokemon games. I mean, you played, like, Gen 1 and stuff, right?
Yep, that's pretty much it.
So,
aside from Sword and Shield.
To give you an idea of the limited scope that I have access to me, I have had Fly for a while now, but because I cannot catch or at least keep a flying Pokemon alive, I have had to walk all over this fucking island.
Oh
Like,
no.
dude, those are the rules. They're the self-imposed rules. Your birds are dead. Sorry, you gotta walk.
Yep.
And this is something that like I've encountered quite a few times. Like my dedicated Pokemon for like Rock Smash will die, and so like okay, well I guess I can't go through that half of the map anymore until I find a new one. And it's been presenting some hilariously dumb challenges.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know what a Nuzlocke is, you want to just give like the dirty nitty gritty,
Okay,
10-second explanation.
so the quickest way to explain a Nuzlocke, it's a self-imposed hard mode, and basically you are only allowed one Pokemon per area that you encounter, and it has to be the first one you see. You don't get to pick and choose, so you're left with what you get. You have to name them because it helps you grow more attached, and if they happen to die in battle, they are considered dead, and you take them and get rid of them. So, and also if you completely lose a single battle, like get wiped out all your Pokemon, that's a game over, you lose the entire Nuzlocke. So that's basically the gist of it. So, my useful ones that have been dying, I can't travel anymore
Right.
to give the broad strokes, but it's been fun. I'm still going with it, but I put that aside for a bit because I finally got my copy of the Castlevania Dominus Collection, allowing me to revisit some DS Castlevania favorites, namely Order of Ecclesia. And that's so good, you know? And I kind of thought I wouldn't be too big into it after finishing Blasphemous 2, just another big Metroidvania, but like, oh, they're so good.
It's quite laid out different, right?
It's a very different game, yes.
I know the first time I played it, I could not get the combat down. It felt so bad, and then you're like, well, you got to alternate the weapons. As soon as I realized that, it's like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yep.
It became easy.
Use both buttons, stupid.
Yeah. It sounds like this typical thing, but I'm so used to like Castlevania's. This is your weapon attack.
Yeah.
This is your attack.
No, it's
not two.
It's kind of very interesting. Instead of like, it has magic, but magic's treated more like stamina. So no, it's fun. I don't know, like maybe a third the way through it. Having a blast with that. But that's mostly what I've been up to with my time for gaming. How about yourself? I guess Blasphemous 2 mostly.
Yeah, being pretty much Blasphemous 2. I was playing Factorio. I got to Fulgora and did what I wanted to do there, which was the trash planet, which I don't know. I don't know why I wanted to do it so bad. It's so flips the game on its head because like normal Factorio, you have your basic resources and you just advance them into bigger and better things. Where Fulgora and the scrap, you recycle it into those high level items already, and then you got to break everything down. So it's kind of like doing the reverse of your actual system. So you got to create a sorting system and all that kind of shit. I just found it neat. I wanted to do it again, and I did it, and then I went in Blasphemous 2.
Sometimes you just get that random urge, you know? It's like the last time I played Hades, and it's like, I just want to at least beat Hades, you know? Like, I don't want to go through the whole game, just enough to, like, beat a run and be like, cool, satisfied.
Well, that's definitely a thing with the sandbox types games, right? Or roguelites, is you can kind of set I guess Pokemon too. You set a self-imposed kind of challenge that you want to aim for. Goal.
I just want to see him fight Dad. Screw you, Dad. I want out of this town.
Oh, no, you're now security.
Oh my god. And okay, so I just remembered that Hades 2 is coming on on the Switch 2, which is just my way of interjecting saying I have pre-ordered the Switch 2. I don't remember what I said when we talked about it. If I was probably like, I won't get it on day one.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Yeah, flip-flopped on that pretty hard. So that's exciting. Although I have a minor nitpick, and it's about an upcoming Switch game that I have pre-ordered, and that is Raido Remastered, the Shin Megami Tensei spin-off.
Yep.
Okay, so this is dumb, because it's coming out for Switch, physically, games on the cartridge, everything's just dandy, right? There is a Switch 2 version also releasing at retail, and it is a game key card, already don't like,
Yep.
And they did an interview, like, what was the differences between the Switch and the Switch 2 version? And the only difference is the Switch version might run from 30 to 60 frames per second, as where Switch 2 is straight 60. Other than that, it's the same fucking game. Why are there two versions of it?
So if you run the Switch version, the Switch 1 version on a Switch 2, will it do that 60 frames?
I don't believe so, and that's the peculiar thing, because that's the only difference, and they've also said that there won't be a Switch 2 upgrade.
Huh.
Right? So I'm fine. Like, I'm not a big frame rate snob or anything like that, and, you know.
No, but you want something kind of consistent. And if those frames are available to you, of course you want them.
Sure. But the fact that it's, like, pretty much the same game, either on a card, actually, or on a card, kinda. I don't know. I don't know.
This whole game key card, well, I can appreciate the idea being better than just a code in a box. I don't like how prevalent it seems to be with a lot of these games that are coming out.
Oh yeah, I hate to say it. It might have me not collecting as much physical for the Switch 2.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm deterred, you know? And especially too when physical's gonna cost more just for the sake of being, and it's not even that.
Okay, was that actually confirmed though?
I don't know, but I do know that there are some things that are confirmed more expensive physically.
Right.
Yeah. So time will tell.
Yep.
But new console, still an exciting thing, and that's like only like a little over a month away. So
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed further away, and then I guess it's a little over a month. Huh.
It seemed much further away because we first heard an official announcement about Switch 2 back in January, like end of January, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess, yeah, it really cut that time to wait down.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I do know that upcoming games on my list, I'm going to, against all odds, be pretty much ending my year, my second half of the year anyways, with a lot of RPGs. Because I got some on the way. I am ready to kind of buckle down and do some of these ones. I got Suikoden 1 and 2. I got Lisa, the Painful and the Joyful coming physical. And I also got the Lunar 1 and 2 remaster physical coming probably beginning of May. I also have 8-Bit Adventures. And you know what? These are all turn-based RPGs. And that sounds really weird coming from me, but I'm excited for pretty much all of them.
Okay, so on the flip side, me, the guy who gets really excited about RPGs, I forgot about something else I played this week, and it'll be very apparent why after I tell you about it.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
Do you vaguely recall me mentioning how like I was kind of keeping an eye on Persona 3 remake for PS5? And
yes,
yeah. So conveniently, after I expressed interest, they came out with a demo. I guess it's like a new demo, and it's like the first chapter of a game, so a fairly beefy demo. Carry your save data over, all that stuff. Nothing against Persona. At least I don't know if it's anything against Persona, but I didn't even get into any actual gameplay.
Oh, really?
I think it was about an hour, and I know it's a very narrative-heavy game, and it's got like almost relationship sim aspects to it. But like, oh my god, you haven't hooked me. Things are weird, and I get it, but I'm just bored. So
really.
And here's the thing: I know with Persona, the big thing is like its characters, and you kind of like grow to attach to them and stuff. But I have to get there first. So yep. I don't know.
You gotta get me engaged with the characters.
I just might not have been in the right mindset for it. But either way, it's not looking good for my thoughts on Persona.
I know this. There's certain people who will agree and certain people who won't. I've only played one Persona game, but I am going to say it did a number on me. I really enjoyed it. Persona 5, honestly, if you ever get a chance to give it a try.
I intend to.
Because it does start out a lot more interesting than most games do.
Well,
because it kind of throws you into it before it starts. It's kind of like you'll get so far in the current situation, and then it's like that grayscale screen of a sitcom, and like, let me tell you how I got here, or you might be wondering how I ended up in this place.
That is a good way to start something like that. Because yeah, when
So it throws you right in the heat of a situation.
like the start of this game, and I don't think I'm getting into too spoilery because like the main cast and setting is like a high school, but like the
Yep.
first half hour of the game was like, okay, first we have to find the administration's office. Then you go to the administration's office, and then it's just like, okay, now we got to find a classroom. Then find the classroom. We got to talk to so and so who is apparently an important character, but we don't know anything about it. Like I was like 45 minutes. Like give me a sword or something to hit something with. Like oh my god. So I don't know.
I honestly forget how well. No, I guess Persona 5 does start out like right in the heat of everything kind of going on before it actually starts its story and kind of telling you how you get there.
Yeah.
Because the point that it brings you in is like, I'm going to say 3/4 through the story.
But here's the
And then
thing.
it brings back to the beginning and how everything started.
But I'm also a hypocrite because that's how SMT5 starts. You start off in the school, but it's not. You know, I also know that that's a more core RPG. It doesn't have the whole like friendship story sideline stuff.
Right.
So I knew what I was getting myself into with that.
Well, I'll say this as someone who's never really been big on turn-based RPGs and the anime aspect. I had a lot of fun with Persona 5.
Well, I'll give them
And
a fair
it didn't
shot.
bore me.
One day.
So it might be something that like just try out for an hour and see if it'll pick you up.
Yeah, I want to at least get to the combat.
Oh, you'll be in the combat like pretty damn quick.
Yeah, that's
With
where
Persona 5.
that was my thing with Persona 3. It's like I haven't done anything yet. Oh my god.
Yeah.
You can't even check out my menus. This is ridiculous. Show me a number for God's sakes.
Yeah. So take the same thing, just put that half an hour into the game because there's all the stuff that you do beforehand, which involve combat.
I will say this though, and this is something I know, and this is something Atlas knocks out of the park all the time. One of the things I love about him, games got style. Games got mad style.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But I am stoked for Lunar and Lunar 2. And I don't know why, because I know nothing about them. I've always been curious because the box that it's had.
It's that like PlayStation game that looks like it would have been a knockout of the park, and no one talks about it. It's like, why?
You know what? Maybe it's just those thick boxes I really like, because Arc the Lad was the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Giant, big box. Except that was 5 discs, not 2 discs.
That's a lot of discs.
Yes. But with that said, how do we get into these things? Let's talk some random video game discussions that aren't video games after this. So, obviously, we've talked a lot about video games, and there's lots of stuff that surround video games, with video game discussions, video game essays, YouTube,
This
merchandise,
podcast.
movies, this podcast, other podcasts. Games just have their own culture surrounding things that aren't actually in video games. It sounds stupid to say it that way, but I'm sure you know what I mean. And one thing that I'm going to bring up, like we've obviously had like K-Bash on the show. He's big in YouTube and does video essays on different games and styles, right? So what do you recall when you first started getting into like YouTube and YouTubers?
Honestly, yeah, I do. And
Really?
It would have been approximately, I don't know, let's say around like 2013, 2014, and the YouTube landscape was kind of starting to shift a bit. I think that was when we had just gotten like 10 plus minute videos were allowed. So
Okay.
YouTube was becoming a lot less oriented on like either short shock value videos or like quick little like how-to videos, right? Or just free music. That was a lot of what YouTube was back in the day. It was just ways to listen to music. So, and I actually very vividly remember You'd find like game trailers and stuff. That's one way of going about it. But actual curated content about video games, it was actually game theory. And this thumbnail about a Mega Man video kept popping up on the side. And I don't know why, but it bothered me. I was like, that's probably dumb. And it kept showing up. And then eventually I was like, okay, I have to look into this. And then I watched it and I'm like, okay, that was actually kind of cool. And then started watching stuff like that. And then from there, I'm going to be rambling off a bunch of like, old school YouTubers. I would love to chat with some of them one day. But that's how you get into stuff like Kid Icarus, Pro Jared, etc. And you just start looking for more and more content, right?
Yep. And I'm sure you had the same kind of arc where you'd be listening or you'd be watching the those bigger names like Kid Icarus or Pro Jared or Video Game Donkey and whatnot, and then you slowly start trying to find like smaller channels.
Yep.
And you're looking for like a different type of flair.
Well, not even so much that, or just more takes on a topic that you've already expanded on. So, like, for example, there's a smaller YouTuber I've discovered recently called, I think, KNI John or Knee John. I don't know how he pronounces it. But he's done, like, really long form essays about the Mega Man Battle Network games. And they're great.
Okay.
You go searching, you stumble, and sometimes you'll find stuff you don't really jive with, and other times you'll be like, all right, we hit and subscribe. This is my new source.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I don't even like. I really should, but I don't subscribe to everyone I watch. But it's amazing when you come across, whether they're big or not, just coming across the odd like YouTuber that you've never heard of and just start enjoying their content, whether they're big or small. Like I've been watching a lot of. Well, I was playing Graveyard Keeper, and one video that came up from a guy named Floydson was like almost done in like a diary of his journey through Graveyard Keeper. So he was doing it days. So his first video was day 0 to 100. His second video was 100 to 200 and so on till he finished the game. So I was kind of like gauging, I'd skip through it a bit and see where he was. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to spoil myself by going through any of this. So I'll watch the first episode as I'd be playing Graveyard Keeper.
Yeah.
And it's just, it just coincided that way. And it's just neat finding new channels and new things that are outside of your normal.
You know what was actually a huge trapping in the video game YouTube landscape back in the day? People still do them. I'm still a sucker for them. But man, top 10 lists of like, be it hidden gems or bees.
B games.
B games, yeah. So there's but see, the thing that I found so fascinating, as opposed to just rattling off a bunch of names of YouTubers, what I love about this culture that we have now is when I was younger, I would have killed for just TV shows that were just about video games.
Well, we had a couple of them, and not all of them were just direct. Like remember when G4 TV first aired, and they had a bunch of shows on there. So there was video game related, which some of them were good. Some of them I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't care. But like before that, we had like Video and Arcade Top 10.
Yeah.
With Nicholas Pickles.
See, these were all things
like,
that
I want to be on that game show.
Because
it's just kids doing competitions. It's like The Wizard, but in game show style.
The Wizard. There's such a great full-length feature ad for Mario Bros. 3.
Yes.
So when I was younger, because I didn't get like cable or satellite until I was like 12-ish or so I wouldn't get shows like Nickelodeon and whatnot.
Yep.
But at the same time, anything that became like a reference to video games in what I was able to watch was always a huge standout. Like, for example, the episode of Simpsons where Bart steals Bone Storm. With just that whole game is just, or the whole episode is just nothing but shots at 90s gaming in general, right? Like, it has
absolutely.
that whole extreme attitude vibe. But to see, like, even if they were like their dollar store discount versions, they had like Mario and Sonic in the episode, like stuff like that stands out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we don't have the license, but we're gonna definitely make references where we can.
Yeah. But other than that, like commercials. That was pretty much like,
commercials. Commercials were
Weird.
Extraordinary.
Oh,
Like the one for Yoshi's Island.
Oh, that one's
Super Mario World 2.
so disgusting. Oh my god.
Just the guy kept eating and eating and eating, and then he exploded, and just guts went everywhere.
Yeah.
It's honestly like you need to look up some of these commercials that they had back in the 90s.
It was before my time.
They're so bizarre.
I probably might have even been, because this would have been when the NES came out and first came to the West. But there's the one commercial where it's all these really horrific looking CGI versions of, I think there's Bowser, like NES Mario Bowser, someone from Dig Dug or something. I can't remember, but there's the horrifying looking 3D, and they just basically come like, we are the Nintendos, and you can't beat us. And it's just like this weird, ominous aura about it.
The Legend of Zelda commercial where it's just a guy in a trench coat. Looks like not someone you'd let near a playground. And he's just wrapping off different monsters found in Legend of Zelda.
Not in a trench coat. He's in a straitjacket.
Oh, he's in a straitjacket.
Yes, he's supposed to be like in an insane asylum. He's talking about like
Jesus,
Octoroks and fucking Zoras and shit. He's just going crazy. But you know what's really sad is we didn't. There's I can't remember if it's for the original Legend of Zelda or Zelda 2, but the Japanese commercial for it is this huge choreographed breakdance number. Yeah, he's like, you got a guy who's like dressed as Link Zelda, and like I think he like saves her at the start of this battle, and then like 20 people just start busting out.
There was a show. It was kind of like an advertisement, but it was a cartoon. Captain N, the Game Master.
So I've never actually seen Captain N. I've seen I've seen.
I know I've seen it. I don't remember much of it, but I do know that I've seen it. And just everything in it was so wrong. Well, but like they had Mother Brain. And
I do know that
it was nothing like Mother Brain.
Well, Mega Man's in it. I know that, and he's like this short little green guy.
Yep.
What the heck?
Mother Brain just looks like an evil doctor head with a giant brain.
So I don't remember exactly what the trivia is, but the Captain N Mother Brain was used in some form of official Metroid media before, like, the way it figured out on this side of the world what Mother Brain was supposed to look like.
Oh, really?
I think it's like in one of the instruction manuals or something like that. Yeah, it's horrifying because it's just like a brainstem, eyeballs, and like lipstick mouth.
Yeah, with 3 holes for a nose.
Yeah, and like Simon Belmont was like basically a Johnny Bravo character type.
Yeah, and they had King Hippo in some of the episodes going against Mother Brain.
But that's so cool. Like, the weird interpretations that because it's not like there was much for, like, lore or supplemental material, right? It was like, this is your character, and play off of it. Okay.
Well, around the same time, we had the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah. Hey,
where we had the live-action Mario and Luigi, and then it would go into the cartoon, and depending on the day of the week, it would be either the Legend of Zelda cartoon or the Super Mario Brothers show.
Have you ever seen? I can't remember the name of the guy who was like the live action Mario. I just know like he was like an old school wrestler.
Yes.
Have you seen the clip of him telling you not to do drugs?
Oh, I don't know if I have or not.
Don't do drugs, kids, because if you do drugs, you'll die and you'll burn in hell. Mario, why are you telling me this? You eat mushrooms on the regular. Man.
Lou Albano?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't really watch the Super Mario Super Show. One of my favorite shows when I was a kid, unsurprisingly, was there was the old 90s Mega Man cartoon. A lot of fans know it as like the Ruby Spears Mega Man because that was the production company that made it. And it is the funniest shit. Oh my god. I would say the best time to watch this show is if you have a really high fever. because
What if you're really high?
that also is a fine substitute. I can say I've enjoyed it both ways. But just the fact that there's... Because, like, they actually did pretty good with, like, the characters. It's just the setting and everything surrounding it is so off. Like, there's... I don't know. It's like one of the first episodes or something. And Mega Man is fighting Proto Man, because Proto Man's, like, a much more, like, prevalent force. Because it's whole, like, I have to fight my brother.
Right.
And I can't remember what causes it, but they're fighting outside of the Lincoln Memorial. And
Okay.
I guess as like a diversionary tactic, Proto Man shoots at the Lincoln Memorial, and Mega Man dives in the way of it and takes the shot. And it's just like, yeah, I knew you'd take a bullet for old Honest Abe. Like, what? Yeah, no.
All right.
Okay.
If I can find that sound clip, I'm gonna put it right here.
Oh no! He's gonna blast President Lincoln!
I knew you'd risk yourself for Mr. Lincoln.
Okay, no, it gets even better. So again, this is Mega Man we're talking about. So one day, this race of ancient lion men, don't follow me on this for a second here.
Okay. Yep.
They
It was
show
the
up.
90s. I'm following.
Yeah, they show up and they have these weapons that turn other people into lion men, and they turn Dr. Wily into a lion man. Their whole plan is just turn everyone in the world to lions.
Oh God.
Capcom franchise, everybody. Yeah, no, highly recommend. But the stuff we got when we were kids when it came to video game media was fucking cursed.
Oh, it was bizarre. But then, like, obviously they did the movies. Everyone knows about the infamous Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh my god. Indie scene, get on this. Except Nintendo would probably shut it down. But
Probably.
so badly.
No, they'll wait for it to be released and then shut it down.
True.
After all the work went into it.
I so badly want a Super Mario Bros. The movie, the game.
Oh, shit.
If someone makes a game based off of that premise of Mario, oh, that would be so fucking cool. Make it dark and gritty and dumb as shit.
Yep.
I would love that.
That movie is notorious for being just bad.
And you know what the funny thing is? It's kind of gained quite the cult status now due to... I mean, I have the trading cards.
Yep. So do
Yeah.
I. I
Yeah.
can't say much about that. But
Oh.
it's... These blemishes in history of video games, they're part of its charm.
The Donkey Kong cartoon that was developed in Canada.
So you know what? Growing up, I actually fucking loved that show.
I watched
Looking
it
back
a lot.
on it, it's like, oh, it was so bad.
Why did they sing every episode? Which, you know what? It was weird foreshadowing because Donkey Kong would become a surprisingly, like, music-oriented franchise with things like Donkey Konga and stuff.
Yep.
The
But,
DK rap.
I mean, look at, like, Family Guy. Every Family Guy episode has a musical in it.
I mean, not wrong.
But it's definitely oriented to more kids than adults.
It's a weird show, man. Real weird show.
There's not much I remember about it, though. The one thing I do remember is just the episode where his hair gets cut, and that turns out that's where all Donkey Kong's power is from.
But it's like that curl on top of his head's not hair. That's his
that's
skin. I don't like that. He looks like raw chicken.
He does.
Oh
No.
Cursed. Like I said.
But then there's other medias, like there's also the magazines. Did you have any subscriptions to any of the magazines?
I never had any subscriptions, but any time that we went to like secondhand store kind of things, I would always rummage like the used books and magazine racks, and I would always find just all sorts of random, there'd be like PlayStation magazines or Electronic Gaming Monthly, stuff like that.
Yep.
So I would always get them randomly, and I would hyper analyze every goddamn page of those.
Oh, absolutely.
That's where my fascination for Jersey Devil comes from. And still to this day, I've never played it. But, 2-page spread of some crazy new game coming out, yeah, that's going to get me hyped.
Yep. Oh, it definitely influenced us in something else. I had a Nintendo Power subscription for a while with my brother, and then after that was done, I had a subscription to Electronic Gaming Monthly, which I always enjoyed. Except those bastards wasted so much of my time because the stupid April edition with April Fool's jokes never picked up on it. But the amount of times I tried to actually do some of those things that they were saying to unlock, like unlock Sonic and Tails in N64 Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Or maybe Melee?
I think it was Melee.
I don't remember.
I think that was the big one.
But I remember doing the challenge and it taken fucking forever. And I finally did it and it's like, nothing happened.
No. Oh, April Fool's Day is such a great but sad day for gaming.
It is, because you never know what you're going to get.
You know what, though? I haven't fallen for anything since the Grand Theft Auto TV show announcement.
You know what? That could actually legitimately be a thing.
Well, see, that's what it is, because Rockstar's pretty bang on with their storytelling. So yeah, if they did a TV series, it'd be really cool. But nah, it's just fuck you, buy shirt cards.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
they like getting paid for not doing much.
Yeah. No, gaming magazines were definitely something that was always exciting to look forward to.
Especially the PlayStation ones with the demo discs.
See, I didn't have a PlayStation, so no demo discs for
me.
me.
The demo discs. That's where my fascination with Team Buddies came from. It was on one of my demo discs. I still have that demo disc, actually.
No, for me, demo discs were shareware discs, and that's a whole rabbit hole of its own. Although weirdly enough, so I do have one demo for the DS of all things.
I was gonna say that's weird, but I guess not. Not
there
really.
is
you could download them.
No, it's a cartridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there is a cartridge demo of Metroid Prime Hunters for the DS.
Oh, that was the full game. They just didn't finish it.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say that's not that's not true. That's not true at all.
Nope.
Yeah, no, it was the pack-in with the original DS, was just like a demo for Metroid Prime Hunters on a cartridge.
Weird,
right? So supplementary to gaming magazines, though, Christmas catalogs and old school flyers and stuff.
Did you used to have to circle things for Christmas? I hope I get one of these.
Actually, it wasn't for Christmas. This was one of those I was 13, something like that. One of those I want to buy something with my own money that I've saved up, but I have to go to school, so I'm going to give my mom the money. And I'm going to hope to God she can identify the thing that I want. And it was Tales of Fantasia for the Game Boy Advance. So, and I couldn't make it any clearer. It's this one. It looks like this. It costs this much. You'll find it here.
Did she get it wrong?
No.
Oh, good.
No, it all worked out.
I was half expecting, just because you said there's no way you could get this wrong, and then she gets it wrong.
No, this is the power of good preparation. But at the same time, these are the risks you have to take.
Yes.
You'll need her coming home with fucking choo-choo rocket or some shit.
All the times going to Kmart or Walmart or whatever store you had and seen the demo kiosks.
Yep.
Those are always great.
Yep.
Oh, actually, Blockbuster with the Pokemon Snap Station.
Ah, yes. There's somewhere I was.
Did you ever use that? Print off your Pokemon Snap pictures?
I never did use it, no, but I know that my local Blockbuster did have one.
Yeah. I think we did it once, but it was kind of neat.
No, because I didn't have N64 nor Pokemon Snap when I did have an N64. Because, what did I even have for the N64? I had Killer Instinct and stuff. Mario Kart.
That's not Pokemon Snap.
That's not Pokemon Snap, no. No, we had Pokemon on the Game Boy. And the Game Boy was my bread and butter, so.
Yep, no, that's fair.
Yeah. So if you wanted Game Boy immediate love back in the day, there weren't much of that.
No, but the Virtual Boy kiosk. Kind of portable.
kind of a germ factory.
Oh, fuck.
Hey kids, put your eyes in this.
Put your eyes in this, get a headache, and go back
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, and then get pink eye. Take it to everyone you know.
Everyone would know that you played a Virtual Boy.
Ew.
Jeez.
Then we got, so, I don't know. There was a couple more movies that did come out, you know, like we had like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, which are like so bad they're good.
Yep. Like going into some of these, you have to acknowledge that they're not great movies. They are not masterpieces. But at the same time, if you take it for what it is, you will have a good time watching them.
They're passion products.
Yep.
Yeah. But I want to say the first time that people started kind of like taking video game movies sort of seriously, and boy, did that drop off not long after, was probably the first Resident Evil movie.
Yeah.
I think that was the first one that I can recall that, like, you know, people who didn't even really care for video games were actually, like, enjoying, right? It wasn't just for the fans. It was
Or
probably
the Tomb Raider movies.
Ah, that's true. I forgot. The Tomb Raider movies were very big. I just never watched them.
Yep. I remember watching the first one, and I don't remember it being bad, but I know it's very skeptical on the review mark. Actually, you know what is one that it could be good or it could be bad depending on the outlook that you want to look at it. And if you know the actual lore of the series, then you would have a hard time accepting it. But at the same time, if you take it at face value, it was actually pretty good. Was the first Silent Hill movie.
See, I saw that and I thought it was weird.
Well, I mean, that is accurate. But it tries to portray the first game, and they definitely took some liberties with it. It doesn't quite follow things properly.
No.
And Pyramid Head should never be there, so obviously it's misconstruing the stuff, the actual lore. But as a movie as itself, it was fine. It was serviceable.
Also, these productions were a lot of like, oh crap, this isn't going to work halfway through, and they just kind of morphed and eventually came out with a product.
Well, not so much for that. Like, they did a lot of like makeup to make things look like that wasn't CG for the, oh god, what are they called? For the little like wiggly bodies that walk around.
Oh.
That wasn't
practical?
CG. That was people in lots of makeup. Apparently that makeup took like 8 hours to put on.
Huh.
But they were like in a bag with breathing straws through orifices and like vacuum sealed and then painted. So, and that was Christopher Gans.
Christopher Gunn? No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of James Gunn. Maybe there's a Christopher Gunn.
But he's also doing the new Silent Hill movie, The Return to Silent Hill.
Oh, neat.
So now
Going
the
for quite the
second
media
Silent Hill
push.
movie, was not done by him, and I haven't actually seen it. It's supposed to take after the third game, and they apparently butchered it beyond anything.
Well, that's not good.
Christopher Gans.
Huh?
Gans. Gans.
Well, it can't be as bad as like a UA Bowl.
So I'm assuming it's going to take after Silent Hill 2. So who knows if it'll be butchered or not.
Well,
The character they have playing James is not James. So that's already changed.
I mean, people were skeptical about the game, and people really like that, so I don't think it'll have nearly as high a praise, but
I mean, the first Silent Hill movie, is supposed to take after the first game, and first game's a man.
yeah. Yeah, that is a bit different, isn't it?
Oh. So, they're serviceable. I don't know about the second movie. But a lot of video game movies are they're never like the best thing ever.
No, but you kind of gotta love them for what they are, right? Like Mortal Kombat 1 is genuinely a pretty decent movie, and then the second one is just really bad. And then there is a third one, but I don't know if you're even gonna make it that far.
Probably not after the second one.
Yeah.
I guess the Super Mario Brothers movie, like the Minions animated one.
Oh, see, nowadays, I would say the video game properties are handled much better in media. Like,
yes.
If you think about, there was because they're still going to do more, but the Secret Level series that I believe Amazon did.
I think it's Amazon, yeah.
And though I have yet to watch it all, I did surprisingly like the Mega Man one, and I'm gonna be hypercritical of that if I'm gonna. So,
Oh, absolutely.
it does seem like things like are handled with a lot more care. Haven't seen them yet, but the Sonic movies, they're seeing ridiculous success.
So I've seen the first one, and it was alright.
Yeah, like the worst review I hear about it is like, it was an enjoyable time. No one's gonna say it's like the best thing they ever saw, but
Oh, absolutely. I haven't seen the second or there's 3 now, right?
yes, the third one I believe has come out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the first one was pretty good. I still find it kind of hilarious that people bullied an entire network.
Oh, you do. So I haven't even seen anything about it, but you remember the My Nintendo News app that they just announced,
Yep.
and how like their day one news on it was like, oh yeah, the Zelda movie's coming like early 2027.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what? So, and I don't know anything about it. I haven't watched the trailer. I don't even know if they had one. I think they just.
I don't think they had a trailer.
I think they just posted like, "Yep, it's coming."
It's a thing.
Which, I mean, official confirmation that there's a Zelda movie. Cool. I would like to see, because I did watch the Mario Bros. Movie, and it was a fun time. I want them to do like an MCU where they do Mario, they do Zelda. Let's just fucking do a Star Fox movie. Oh god, that would bomb. No, they could make a really good Star Fox movie, I think.
Depending on the approach that they took, they could actually do a lot with Star Fox.
Yeah, because I think Star Fox has like some major.
Game.
No, but it's got some major like Saturday morning cartoon vibes. So, there was an F-Zero cartoon back in the day.
Was there?
Yeah, it didn't last long.
I guess not.
But I think, there was like an F-Zero anime, and I think we got it to an extent, probably horribly butchered. So, but yeah, there was an F-Zero show. But
so I had to pull up the Legend of Zelda announcement just to remember what it was. Yeah, it's just the Triforce that fades in from black, and Legend of Zelda plastered over. The live-action film of The Legend of Zelda will be released worldwide on March 26, 2027.
Oh god, they have a date.
That's it.
Wow.
Now let's assume that release date is probably not going to be accurate.
Like any other Zelda game?
Yes.
Yeah. No, if they do a whole bunch of different Nintendo movies and then like their post-screen setup ends up being a build-up to Super Smash Bros.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be really cool. Make it a Kirby
movie. You could do
movie.
a lot of things with that.
There was a Kirby TV show. I didn't like it.
Oh yeah, there was a Kirby TV show.
Yeah, Kirby right back at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made Meta Knight Spanish. It was weird. Yeah.
I completely forgot about that.
Yep.
Holy
There's
shit.
also there's been a few different Sonic cartoons as well. I remember when I was a kid actually, I used to really like Sonic Underground. I'm pretty sure it sucked, but
I mean, a lot of the things that we liked as a kid, we realized were bad.
yeah, but it doesn't mean I didn't like them.
That's just it. We enjoyed it as a kid. I like
So
the Donkey
there-
Kong CGI mess.
Yeah, so I do also remember like the original Sonic cartoon, which was very like Looney Tunes-esque, and then there was the one that the fans call Sonic Sat AM, and that's the more like serious one with an actual plot. And when I was a kid, I had a book that like summarized the first couple episodes of the Sat AM Sonic.
Okay.
It's so weird that these were like bits of media that you would have, like, like a little 50-page book. It was like,
Yep.
I had one that was the first episode of Simpsons, like, just in picture book form. So,
I
This
gotta
was-
think it's not too obscure given its time. When like a lot of NES games, their stories were not in the actual game themselves; they were in instruction manuals.
yep, and they were up for
Right.
interpretation, like how Mega Man had to go to Monster Island. That didn't
Godzilla?
happen. No, to fight the Lion Man. Yeah. Now it's weird when like I see, if I happen to be like in a Walmart or something, and if you like walking by like the cheap books, how there's like tons of like Minecraft books and stuff like that,
Yep.
where as opposed to like we're coming up with supplementary material. Now we have supplementary material just existing off of these properties. Like it's so weird. Everything's backwards now.
So, with that said, there was actually a bunch of books I used to read, and I got them originally because they were video game related, but they were actual novels. Ones I'm thinking of is like Halo: The Fall of Reach, or Diablo. I think it might have just been called Diablo, but it was after the Diablo series. And it was like full-blown novels. There's one for StarCraft and the Brood War. There's all sorts of novels like that. Like, I think the Halo series had like 5 different actual, like, 300-page, 400-page novels for them.
See, for me, on the other end of the spectrum, but on the same spectrum, is video game comic books and manga.
Never got into any of that.
Lot of manga, but you know we only get so much of that. But there was like the Archie run of Sonic, and then Archie also started doing Mega Man, and I haven't read them, but there's like a really long crossover series between Mega Man and Sonic, and admittedly, that's really fucking cool because
that's so weird.
Dr. Wily and Dr. Robotnik teaming up, like, that's actually a really fucking cool concept.
Actually, you know what? Considering they both make robots.
Yeah.
That's... Huh.
And Sonic and Mega Man are both blue. Like, you know, it's like they're surface level comparisons, but it works really fucking well.
Okay, that doesn't work as nearly as much as Dr. Wily and Dr. Robotnik.
No, but still.
Because that is... I mean, that's 2 evil masterminds.
Yep.
Like... Jesus.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, isn't it?
I almost want to see what would happen if you put Dr. Wily and Dr. Light, or Dr. Wily and Dr. Robotnik against each other. What kind of contraptions would they make to fight each other?
See, I don't know enough about Sonic lore, so my bias would go to Dr. Wily, knowing like all the stuff that happens to Mega Man. But I'm going to save my rambles about Mega Man lore for another day, because that's a rabbit hole and a half.
Yes. But you know what I mean? Like that would be cool to see.
That would be very cool, yes. And they both fly little UFOs.
Yep. No.
And then, you know what? And then another way to enjoy video, it's much easier these days because we live in a world of consume and capitalism, but video game stuff.
Like merchandise and...
Just stuff. Yep.
Like, I know I don't talk about the Behemoth company very much, but always on my desk staring at me from Battle Block Theater, I have a bust of Hattie Haddington.
Yeah. I don't...
He keeps me loyal.
I don't even need to go into the detail of all the Mega Man stuff that I have.
It's inked on you.
It is inked on me, yes. Yes, he lives on my skin. Currently, right now, as we record...
Our main image that we have for the podcast is you and me on a couch and you're holding an E-tank.
Yep. I have a Mega Man coaster right now for my beverage. Just in this room alone. Oh, that's it. That's actually all that I have around me. But the fact that I have a coaster is... I also just... My coaster's upstairs. They're all Game Boy games.
I mean, you got a Mega Buster, don't you?
I have Proto Man's Buster, yes. I didn't get the actual Mega Man one in time, and it's very expensive now. I do have a Mega Buster cookie jar, though. Yeah, no, it goes on and on. It's crazy. But, like, especially just how it's kind of entered the cultural zeitgeist now. Like, you fucking go anywhere and you're going to see, like, Pokemon Funko Pops or Mario socks.
Yep.
Stuff that was very rare back in the day.
I'm wearing Legend of Zelda socks right now. It has Ganon on them.
Mine say Caterpillar. Yeah. No, it's so much easier to be a fan these days than it was way back when, right?
Well, just with wrapping you around YouTube.
Yeah.
Just the amount of games. Okay, so do you ever find like some random YouTube video from someone you may or may not know? And it's just like, okay, I'm going to watch this. And then you end up with a new game that you want to check out.
So many times.
Because there's one, it's from a guy I've been watching who does pretty much all Factorio videos. And he likes doing challenge runs on them, so it's always fun to watch, because I'm not going to do that. But he just came out with one for, oh god, it was a RPG Maker game, out of all things.
Yeah.
Almost in the same vein of Lisa, but top down, and it's like look outside, and it just seems wacky, horror based. Everything seems to it has like a hint of Undertale as well, in a sense of you don't have to fight everything.
Yeah.
Some things you have to, but there's different ways of calming things down. No, with a little mini game, but just by, you might have to give them an item during the battle, but like everyone's turning into a mutant, and like a great example, you go see your neighbor and he's staring at a mirror and you don't see his face, and he's just there brushing his teeth, and it's like, okay, that's pretty normal. He's just brushing his teeth. Why I'm in his bathroom, I don't know. But then he turns around and like he has teeth from the top of his head all the way down to his stomach.
Oh, that's unsettling.
But he's trying to keep his humanity, and that's why he's brushing his teeth, is because he's trying to keep his sanity and trying not to let this monstrous thing consume him. Huh. So you end up giving him a teddy bear or something, like his childhood teddy bear that you find in the apartment building, and he ends up becoming a companion. But if you don't, then he ends up like just demolishing you. But it's like you find really weird, like, I don't want to say gems, but just really weird games. Like it's how I found out about Fear and Hunger, which
that's actually
RPG
that was one
Maker game.
I was going to use in this example, because like I haven't actually played it because I don't spend a lot of time sitting down at my PC, but that one intrigues the fuck out of me, and it looks like a lot of love and care went into that horrible experience.
Same with Yume Nikki. That's why I wanted to check it out, because I heard a lot about it, and it's wacky. Omori is just what got me into it was actually just checking it out.
See,
after I heard about it.
For me, it would be like Monster Hunter. That's how I got into stuff like that. You know, but what I like about gaming YouTube for myself, and yeah, this is gonna make me sound lazy. I don't care. If I want to replay a game, but I don't want to put in the effort of playing it, I can just look it up and find either someone I acknowledge or, someone new, and just watch them play through it. And not only do I get to enjoy that experience again, I also get to enjoy the experience of someone's take on it.
Yes. The take on it, and also, how many times have you watched someone play a game that you've already played, and they come across something different, or they make an analysis that you didn't pick up on?
Right?
Time. And you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. No, it's very entertaining. It almost feels like, because when I was younger, it almost simulates the experience of like when I would go over to my buddy's house and he'd be playing like, Final Fantasy VIII or something like that. And it's not really a game that we're going to like, pass the controller back and forth. Like we might from time to time, but he's playing it, I'm watching it. And a lot of people would think that sounds really boring, but it's actually just cool to just chill and enjoy a game.
Yep.
And, it's not like I'm there with them doing it, but at the same time, you don't just feel like you're sitting there alone watching gameplay footage.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. But what I like about the world of YouTube and gaming is I can do that with literally any fucking game that exists.
Yes.
If I want some information or just a take on, like, RoboTrek, or, hell, even RoboPawn, you can type it up. Yeah.
Or if you hear about something that sounds kind of interesting, but you don't want to drop the X amount of dollars that it's going to cost to buy it, and you want to kind of check it out first before you actually commit to that.
Yep.
Like a lot of these reviews, depending, obviously, they're going to give you an unbiased kind of look at it. They aren't going to where the developer will make a trailer that shows all the best parts. You're going to see the actual legitimacy of that game.
And I mean, from there, you can kind of gauge a feel. Maybe you'll find someone who has interest more to you. You can see they've played a lot of games that you enjoy mostly. So you can say your tastes are relatively in the same zone, right?
Yep.
So, it's... what a time to be alive. Like I said, I would have killed to just have, like, strictly gaming TV shows when I was a kid.
Know what I do wish that we still had? And I'm sure there is something of the degree, but it's never going to match the amount of brilliance that it once did. Was gaming magazines.
Right? Well,
It's never going to have the same impact.
it isn't, but I will say, especially just because it happens to be sitting right beside me here, is this issue of Retro Gamer that I came across. Like, this shit is so cool. Like, it very much tries to capture that old school vibe.
Yep.
And, like, it's got, like, the full-on game guides. It's got retrospectives. But it's also got, like, full-page spreads for, like, new games coming out and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, like, it feels like a true, proper, old-school gaming magazine. The only problem with it is it's like $20. Like, man, magazines are expensive.
Yep.
Oh, but I do think, like, if anyone is really looking for, like, that old nostalgic hit, yeah, look for a copy of Retro Gamer. I've actually seen it, like, most places that carry magazines seem to have it. It's neat. It's a nice kind of, like, trip to the past.
It is. And you know what? Anyone that didn't grow up with that era, I don't know how much they'll actually appreciate it unless they like the historical value of retro games.
Yep.
And retro era. Like, we grew up in a time before internet was prevalent.
Well, and another kind of form similar to the magazines that I love is a good gaming art book or like a concept art book. I've got a nice little collection of them now, and they're so nice to just kind of flip through. You might even learn some new behind the scenes stuff. But buying a art book for a video game, that's like, my acknowledgement of this is a game that I love.
Yes. No, absolutely. No, that is more than fair. And you know what? They also had, like, you don't see it too much nowadays because of Spotify and everything else, but when they used to do physical soundtracks.
Did you know that there was one you could buy? I think it was like from like the old school Nintendo merch store. Like, I guess it would have been not Club Nintendo, but something like it. I think you could order them through Nintendo Power. You could get the Donkey Kong 64 or the Diddy Kart Racing soundtrack. I can't remember, but the CD was Diddy Kong's head, and it was shaped like his head.
Oh no!
It was not a circular disc. Yeah,
that is wonderful.
Yeah, let me see if I can actually find this because it is. It's
because I know I had the original Paper Mario soundtrack.
Oh,
I got it around here somewhere.
I have a couple games that came with soundtracks. Like, I think my copy of Strange Journey for DS came with a soundtrack.
Actually, some neat things because of that Club Nintendo or whatever, My Nintendo Now or whatever you want to call it, with the points, like, obviously posters and stuff that you can get. I ended up getting a sheet music book for Mother 1 music for piano.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I have the sheet music book for Undertale. Didn't
you get one for Hollow Knight as well?
No, I thought about it. It is very cool.
That would be cool too.
Yeah.
One that really looked neat, collector's edition, and I never did jump on it. Maybe still because it is available. Is the Amori collector's edition, which comes with a piano that it's a music box, but it comes with a tiny piano, and it plays the duet song.
That is cool.
Oh, I know this.
Yeah, there's a Yoshi one too.
Yep. Those are not round discs.
No. The things that we thought would work back in the day. I mean, I'm sure it works just fine. Just not good. Not good at all.
Oh, God. Well, what else you got?
I was just going to say, what other kind of corners of enjoying games outside of gaming would we have? Like
I don't care for stickers.
I mean, I like getting them. I just don't like putting them on things.
No, because I want to put them on things, and then that thing will eventually go away. And I have no good spot for them.
There is something that, like, I've been enjoying a little bit more lately, is there's like the Super Mario Lego.
Oh, yes.
That's been an interesting extension. And actually, so for years, Mega Bloks has done Pokemon stuff, and anyone who knows, like, Mega Bloks just doesn't feel good. No one, and they looked raw.
It feels about as knockoff as it looks.
It is, but I think as of next year, Lego is actually going to be doing Pokemon stuff, and they might actually be good.
Huh.
Yeah. But outside of that, You know, I think I've covered most of the
The-
at the
they're-
forefront.
So it does have to do more with direct gaming, but you got a couple arcade systems.
I do, yeah. What do I have? I have the Evercade, which I would say is basically like it's a console just mocked up like an arcade machine, but it is a very
Yep.
nice arcade machine. It's also Mega Man, so like gotta kind of
Of course.
gotta. But then I also have the little novelty. I think it's called the Sega Astro City Mini. But those, I would say, like, yeah, it's definitely novelty merchandise. But I would say they're also on par with something like the NES Mini or the SNES Classic, right?
Yeah.
They are interesting pieces of gaming novelty, but can be enjoyed seriously.
And I mean, there's also like statues that people get and all this.
I've got
kind
a
of stuff.
couple models.
Yep.
They're kind of frustrating. My hands are a little too big for some tiny pieces, but they're still cool. It just make me kind of mad.
Nope, that's fair.
Stuff like trading cards. I mean, Final Fantasy's had a trading card for years. And
Pokemon.
It's going. Pokemon is a trading card game,
Yep.
and then some. Yeah.
It
No.
spawned from a trading card game.
Was it
Did
the
it not?
I can't remember what. I think the video games are the first Pokemon entity.
Really?
I think everything spawned from the games. It just all came very fast. I might be wrong about that. I don't know, but I think the
I'm
games were
looking
the
it up.
first thing
Video
to
games
spawn
came
a
first.
Pokemon. Yeah,
Specifically, Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green.
yeah, because I do remember when it was initially pitched, they wanted to make it for the NES.
So the same year the trading card came out.
Damn, that's a media juggernaut just waiting to happen, and it did.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've covered most of the random stuff that people can seek out in their daily lives to enjoy video games without playing them.
And you know what? There's going to be things that we missed. I know there is.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like little nitpicky things that we could bring up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big things that I'm sure we did miss. But we hit some of the main points that we wanted to. And
Well-
some of them are just fantastic.
And just a journey of, like, you know, what it was like to grow up with this stuff.
I mean, we didn't even touch on collector's editions, which always has like a pile of goodies. And they're okay.
Yeah.
Maps or, again, stickers or sometimes statues, sometimes like little notebooks. I'm looking at you,
Oh.
La Mulana 1 and 2 collection.
Nerdy
Big on
home
my
decor. Yeah, it is quite large. So, like, something that I've done is I found a bunch of, like, in, like, garage sales and stuff, finding old, cheap video game calendars.
Yes.
And I would cut out the best images and put them in, like, dollar store frames and hang them around the house. And they actually looked pretty sharp.
No, they definitely do, because you did one up for me with the Legend of Zelda. And ever since it was pointed out that it looks like adult Link is sitting on Tiny Link's or Kid Link's shoulders, I cannot unsee it. I'm staring at it now, and I cannot get
Yeah.
that image out of my head.
Yep. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no. Embrace nerdiness in all aspects of life.
There's also like crossovers with Pizza Huts and looking at you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, old school McDonald's toys. There was like, I can't remember if it's McDonald's, but there was like a Super Mario Bros. 3 one that I used to have. And it was like the Tanuki Mario, and he was like on a little spring, and you just kind of like push him down, and he would spring up like,
I can see that being
Yes.
McDonald's.
yeah.
Out of all those franchises, McDonald's always seemed to have the best toys. And I
Way
mean,
back when.
yeah. And they used to have a N64 and a GameCube
Yeah.
in their dining room.
In the play place there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little
then-
dome-looking thing.
I mean, it's kind of on the realm of still playing games, but just not as well, like the old Tiger Electronics.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm actually surprised I've never sought out like the old Mega Man one. It's probably expensive now, actually.
Maybe.
You know what? There's no harm in looking. I'm probably gonna be flabbergasted.
You know what? It's going to turn out to be cheap, and you're going to spend like $70 on shipping, $20 on the actual thing.
Oh yeah, that seems to be how these. Oh my god, it's not actually that much.
How much is shipping?
Ooh, good question. Uh, okay, so its base price
Here we
is
go.
$48.59.
Okay.
Shipping is 1 cent more.
Oh.
It's $48.60 for shipping.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
expensive shipping price, though. Jesus Christ.
It is a very expensive shipping price, but that is funny. They actually brought back the Tiger Electronics line like a couple years back.
Really?
Yeah, they did a reissue of them. Just like it was around the time of like the NES Mini and stuff, because it was just
Oh,
like, oh,
geez.
everyone's getting nostalgic for the old stuff. It's like, no one cares about the Tiger Electronic. Come on.
No. Oh, dear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I got at this moment.
All right, so before we go then, I am going to ask you if there is a gaming commercial that you remember, and not for like shock value, like the Yoshi's Island one, but what is the one that kind of like stuck with you the most, or you found the most striking back in the day? I know mine might surprise you.
I'm still gonna go with Super Mario Brothers Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, because that's the only one that has stayed in my memory.
So, a commercial that I actually really enjoyed back in the day was the commercial for Gears of War, like the very first one.
Okay.
And it was set to the song like Mad World or something like that. I can't
Right. Yes.
But it's something about like it got your attention.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like, okay, maybe I'm wrong, because it was a generally good song, but I think it was the Gears of War trailer that made that song popular.
I think it might have had like its level of popularity, but then it made it popular again.
Absolutely.
I could be wrong. The only other one that I can think of that was like, I need to have it, and I did eventually get it for Christmas, but it's a dumb commercial. It's the commercial for Golden Sun. And it's like takes place on like this opera stage, and there's this lady singing on stage, and there's like these crazy monsters flying around her and stuff, and then they show like a couple quick seconds of gameplay footage of Golden Sun, and then the chandelier turns into like this crazy dragon. None of this stuff is relevant to the actual game, right?
No, never is.
So here's what's hilarious about that, though. So Golden Sun 1 and 2 came out, Game Boy Advance. They were relatively close to each other because they were basically like two halves of one game, right?
Yep.
And then the third one, Dark Dawn, oh geez, like 10 or so years later, like it came out at the end of the DS's life cycle. And they added a summon in Dark Dawn that was that chandelier dragon from that commercial.
Oh shit.
So I think that's a pretty cute nod to something that made no fucking sense.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, that's about all I got.
Yeah, I think that's all I got. One thing I'm going to say is go on YouTube, go check out some of these old commercials, like the 90s commercials for video games, because they
Paul Rudd.
They recreated that one.
They did. I saw that the other day.
It was great.
Yeah.
But like some of the wacky commercials, just search up wacky 90s video game commercials on YouTube. You're going to find some really messed up ideas.
Like Kirby being the toughest guy in town.
Yep. Or the Yoshi's World or whatever.
Greed is good.
Oh yeah, the Warrior games.
Yeah.
There's some gems in there, and it's very much the 90s, early 90s style. But with that said, that puts a wrap on this episode. I have no idea what I'm going to call it, but by the time that's going to be already done. Tyler, you have a good time?
I will. And people at home, don't forget to follow us on X, but mostly Blue Sky, and like
YouTube
and subscribe.
Come on now, get the enthusiasm. You can find us on Blue Sky, X, or YouTube. Don't forget to tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your mom, tell your dad. And we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.